Most men aren't tired because they're unfit. They're tired because their mornings are quite literally destroying their energy before the day begins. If you want to lead, perform, and show up for your family at the highest level, your morning needs architecture. It doesn't need some random routine. And when I say architecture, we want to be thinking like an architect. So the fact of the matter is, all that matters is how you show up for that day. So you want to lay the most perfect foundations so that day can unfold like a masterpiece. And the truth is, the majority of guys, they wake up like an accident. They're reacting to teams, their phone, emails, family issues. And the problem with this is when we start from a depleted state, our energy is already on the back foot. You know, your leadership quality is getting diminished because you want to be thinking about your startup routine, that startup architecture that we put in place. That determines your capacity throughout the day. I came to this truth when my son was 3 months old. Okay, there was long days in the city, I was up early, I was working late, there was more pressure, more stress, but I quickly realised how I was starting my day was dictating the capacity of literally how I was closing my day. Every new version of you and every different season and cycle of life that you step into requires a different operating system. I could have fallen for the fallacy that I needed more time because there was more stress, pressure, responsibilities, but here's the thing, a lot of high performing guys think that time fixes everything. You know, if I've got more time, I can do X, Y, Z. You know, when reality, without energy, you can't even spend that time. Time becomes redundant and becomes useless because energy quite literally is the currency which you pay down leadership. It's a currency that pays down fatherhood. It's a currency that pays down performance. Okay, time is our greatest asset, but our energy is a currency from which we spend that asset. So with that being said, we're going to segue nicely into a morning structure, a 10-minute system, which I call the 3Bs, which is breath, body, and brain. And this little routine is being quite simply designed for chaos, not for perfect mornings. So no matter where you are in the world, hotel, office toilet, airport lounge, park, kitchen, wherever you are, it doesn't make a difference. You can execute this plan. So element number one, breath work, which quite literally sets your nervous system and your leadership tone for the day. And the majority of founders, execs, entrepreneurs are stuck in that sympathetic overdrive. So when we start the morning like this and we regulate the nervous system, it brings presence, reduces reactivity, and brings that calm composure that we need to take on a day. So very simple. We're going to do a Wim Hof method. Just going to do one round of 20 breaths. So all you do is you get yourself sat in a nice comfortable position. Big deep breath in through the nose and then slowly out through the mouth as if you're blowing through a straw. Element number two, body. So movement increases your energy levels, increases clarity, confidence, and uplifts that mood. But a lot of guys get stuck into that mentality thinking you need to do 40 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it is on the morning, when I'm here to tell you 60 seconds can quite literally change your physiological state. That shift is enough to give you that bit more mental bandwidth, bit more oxygen to the body that's going to give you that kickstart in the day. So what can you do? Air squats, push-ups, any type of mobility, just something that's going to get the blood pumping and the oxygen around the body. And another big powerful thing about doing your minimum standard movement on a morning, you're anchoring the identity of a person who shows up and prioritizes himself. Element three, brain. So if we want to win the day, you want to step into that battlefield as your best self. Your brain needs direction and it needs priming. So a very powerful ritual that we can include in this 10-minute morning structure is number one, an identity statement. Who do I choose to be today? Number two, a focus statement. So what truly matters? And then number three, a behavior statement. You know, what would this man do next? You know, what would the version of me do, as in his actions, habits, and behaviors? Now, these systems and structures can sometimes, they can sound too simple, okay? Too easy. And a quote that comes to mind from Jim Rohn, easy to do, easy not to do. And it's the same with something like this. For example, one of my clients is a busy consultant, father. He's only been with me like 8 weeks now, but when he started with me, he's traveling 4 or 5 times a month, hotels, airport lounges, 5 hours sleep, zero routine. When we put this system in place, it then became his anchor. So no matter what, when he gets this done, he shows up as his best self. His sleep's improved, his presence has improved, his energy's improved, and his capacity for expansion within his business has improved. And I'll say it again, you don't need more time. So a lot of the guys that I work with, entrepreneurs, founders, execs, business owners, they're busy as hell. They've not got much bandwidth. But when we put systems, structure, processes in place that's going to increase their energy and their capacity, everything expands throughout the day. And think about it, your children, your partner, your business, they're all going to benefit from a more present, regulated leader. Because a regulated man is definitely an unstoppable man. So my invitation to you is take these 3 elements and start tomorrow, because an object in motion stays in motion, and it's always the first step that's the hardest step. But I can pretty much guarantee you in 7 days' time, you're going to have a significant increase in your energy levels, self-regulation, and much more optimal stress management throughout the day. And you can also download my free travel proof protocols, which I did on last week's video, which will turbocharge your morning routines and energy throughout the day. Let's switch on.